I crept closer. Male voices, all talking at once and some shouting, but as often happens in shock, the sound was just a buzz in my ear. I couldn't keep my eyes off my former friend. Her body was straight down the length of the billiard table, with her arms spread out wide. I thought at first someone had posed her to look like a crucifixion, but then I realized the billiard table was covered in red baize, and the way she'd been laid out, especially wearing that white blouse, she looked like the cross of St. George. There was even a belt looped around her legs. Rafe came over to me, and we looked at poor Pamela. He said, "Whoever killed her arranged her body to look like the emblem of the Knights of the Garter." "Who would do such a thing?" I asked. I could see now that she'd been strangled. I wasn't a forensics expert, but from the marks on her throat, I had a feeling that belt that was now wrapped around her legs might be the murder weapon. I hadn't liked Pamela, but I would never want to see anyone finished off like this. She'd only come here tonight to serve food. How could she have made a deadly enemy so quickly? And why would the killer then pose her corpse to resemble the highest emblem of chivalry? Behind me came Hugo and his friend, looking slightly winded from pounding down 2 flights of stairs. Then Violet arrived, followed by William. The last to show was Randolph, looking bemused and half asleep as he came in saying, "What's going on?" I glanced around. It was a windowless room, lit pot lights inset in the ceiling, but there was also a wet bar tucked in the back and a seating area, presumably for those not playing. Several of the younger gargoyles had dispensed with their coats, no doubt getting ready for their game. Winston Bromford cried out, "We only wanted a game of billiards. I think I'm going to be sick." "Not in here," Miles said sharply, and grabbing him by the arm, dragged him out. I pulled myself back together as much as I could. I had some experience of murder, unfortunately, and the first thing I realized was that all these people in here were making a complete mess of the crime scene. I said to Rafe, "We should clear the room. The police won't appreciate all these people in here." He nodded, raised his voice. "Hugo, why don't we all adjourn to the dining room? Leave the scene for the police."